Hi guys, today we are going to discuss regarding week 1 assignment 1. So here they are asking, the first question is choose the variable name that is invalid in R. So any variable that's starting with a number is always invalid. So here they have given the options as data.1 equals to 10, data1 equals to 10, 1 data equals to 10, and data underscore 1 equals to 10. As you can see, one of the options is having is starting with 1, right? Other all are valid, but C option is starting with 1. That's why it is invalid. Okay. So this is your right answer. So here the command to access help in RStudio is nothing but the second option. I'll tell you why. Suppose help of something, any linear model or any option you want to give. So LM is the command which is used to create a linear model. So I'm going to give help of the topic. Topic is nothing but my linear model LM. So whenever I give enter, here you can see the description of that LM, what that LM is, for what it is used. That whole thing is coming here in the help option, right? It's saying LM is used to fit linear models. So in this way, help command can be used to access can be used to access any help regarding a particular command. Means what does a particular command do? That whole thing can be described using help of topic. Okay. So other options are invalid. So here in third option, in our code given below, the value of I at which loop breaks us. So here, if this is the value you're going to consider, this is the loop you're going to consider. So let me take an example here for this loop and explain you. Here I have the, I think I can annotate here. Okay, let's go to the option once, the assignment option. So here, so they have given us n equals to 100, okay, and sum is 0. So I in sequence, the for loop is starting in this way, I in sequence of 1 comma n comma 3. Okay. So here 1 is nothing but the I value which is starting. Okay. That is the starting value of I. N is nothing but 100 and 3 is nothing but the incrementation of the I value. Okay. So you can consider I value as in this way. I equals to the increment values, I equals to I plus 1. If there is no value given here, that will be considered as 1 by default. The incrementation will take, it will be, the I value will be incremented one time, always. Okay. Here they has mentioned the incrementation value is 3, then I value will be incremented 3 times, every time. Okay. So now they have given in the for loop, you have this condition, sum equals to sum plus I. So you have to print what you're printing. You're printing I comma sum. So both the values you're printing. So they're saying, they're asking us here, at what value of I, this particular loop sum will be broken. Okay. At which particular I value, the loop will break. That is what they're asking, right? So let's start I value, I equals to 1. Then sum equals to, sum is already 0. Sum equals to sum plus 1. That is 1. Okay. When I equals to 1, so let me write in this way, sum value, sum plus I, okay, and this is the sum value. You're printing C and printing I comma sum. So sum value will be 0 plus 1, okay. So sum and I value are getting printed. So it is 0, sorry, I value is 1 and sum is 1, okay. For I equals to, now I is not 2, I value will be incremented 3 times. So I equals to 1 plus 3, that is 4. For I equals to 4, what is the sum value? Sum equals to, sum is already 1. 1 plus 4, that will be 5. Okay. So you're printing sum value. I value is 4 and sum value is 5. Okay. Next, I equals to, I is already 4. 4 plus 3, it will be 7. And sum equals to 1 plus, sorry, sum is not 1 here. Sum is 5, right? Latest sum is 5. 5 plus 7. So that will be 12. So you're printing this I value is 7 and sum is 12. Next, I equals to 7 plus 3, that is 10. For I, whenever I equals to 10, some value will be 12 plus 10. That will be 22. And you're checking whether sum is greater than 15. Yes, the sum is greater than 15. Here you need to check for whenever you're calculating this sum, you have to calculate whether this condition is also present here, saying sum is greater than 15. So here it was false. Here also it was false. Sum is 5 greater than 12. It is false, right? And sorry, here it should be 5 is greater than 15 because sum you're comparing sum with 15, right? So next is sum value is 12. 12 is greater than 15. Condition is false. And here sum is 22. 22 is greater than 50. Condition is true. So whenever the condition is true, here what you have to do? You have to break. The loop will break. When is the loop breaking? The loop is breaking at I value equals to 10. So this should be your option. So in this way you have to do. So what did I explain here? Whenever n equals to 100 and sum equals to 0. And in the for loop, whenever you're having anything like this, if they have given 1 comma n and they didn't give any option like 3, by default I value will be incremented by 1. Okay. And if they have given some other value, then I value will be incremented by that value. So here I value is getting incremented till when? Till 100. Till you reach 100, you have to iterate. Okay. Sum equals to sum plus I. So I equals to 1. Sum equals 0 plus I. I have calculated all this. So at what value of I? This is breaking out. The loop is breaking out. The loop is breaking at I equals to 10. Okay. In this way, you have to do it. Okay. This is your explanation. So let me just delete this all stuff. Okay. So now let's come to this point. The library that supports right join function is, this is already the predefined library. dplyr is the library which you will be using when you have to deal with the joins. Okay. Now they're asking in fifth one, the value of sum and month when I equals to 9 is. So here, what all they have given, let's consider them. N equals to 5 and sum value is 0. So here if you see, the I in 1 colon 11. Okay. So here, they didn't mention the incrementation value of I. So I will be incremented by default by 1. Okay. And what is the sum value? Sum equals to sum plus I plus 2. Okay. So now what you're going to do for I value and sum equals to sum plus I plus 2. What I'm going to do? I'm going to print month dot ABB of I plus 1 comma sum. Okay, these two values I'm going to print it. So they're asking us whenever I equals to 9, what will be the value of sum and month? So I value is 1 initially. So let's calculate that. So sum equals to sum is 0. 0 plus I is 1. 1 plus 2, that will be 3. Sum equals to 3. And month dot ABB. ABB is nothing but abbreviation. So here month dot ABB of I plus 1 will be 2 comma sum. So here So if you consider abbreviation of months, so one will be considered as Jan. Okay. And 2 will be considered as February. And 3 will be considered as MAR, like that. Okay. Phi value is 1, 1 plus 1, 2. That is Feb, comma, what is some value? It is 3. 3 will be printed. Next, for I equals to 1. I is already 1, right? So 1 plus 1 will be 2. I value is incrementing to 2. Now some value should be sum equals to sum plus 3 plus 2 plus 2. Okay, that will be 5. 2 plus 2, right? I value is 2 here. 2 plus 2, that will be 7. 3 plus 4 is 7, right? So month dot ABB of I value is 2. 2 plus 2 will be 3, comma, sum. So this will be March underscore, March, comma, 7. Okay. Now for I equals to 3, sum will be 7 plus 3 plus 2. So that will be 7 plus 5, that will be 12. Month dot ABB of 3 plus 1, 4, comma, sum. So what value will be printed? April, comma, APR, comma, sum is nothing but 12. Like that you have to calculate. So for 4, sum will be 12 plus 4 plus 2. That will be 18. Months dot ABB of 5, comma, sum. That will be equals to MAY, comma, 18. Okay, let me write all the values 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So let's quickly come here. So here you will be having the month dot. I'll just copy paste all these values once. Okay, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so here if you see May will be June, July, August, September, and October. Oct. Okay, it will be oct. And some values you can just calculate here. Sum equals to 18 plus 5 plus 2. That will be 18 plus 7, 25. And again, if you calculate the sum value, sum will be 25 plus 6 plus 2, that will be 8, that will be 33. Okay, so here it will be July, comma, 33, and here sum will be equals to 33 plus 7 plus 2, 9, that is 42. Whenever I equals to 7, so whenever I equals to 7, the month is August and the sum is 42. Now here, sum equals to 42 plus 8 plus 2, that is 10, equals to 52. So when for I equals to 8, the month is September and the sum is 52. And now we are going to calculate sum for this. 52 plus 9 plus 2, 11. That will be 63. So they asked us for which value of 9 So what will be the value of sum and month when I equals to 9? So the month is oct and the sum is 63. So in this way you need to calculate. So remember earlier you have already seen here for I in 1 is to 11. Here they didn't give any incrementation value. So the default incrementation value will be considered as 1. Okay. That is what we are calculating here. For I equals, for each I value, you are calculating some value, and simultaneously also calculate, you are also printing the abbreviation of the month and the sum. Okay. So this will be your option. So if you get this particular option of opt, you can just directly opt this one. You don't have to calculate sum. Just to understand, to make you understand this concept, I have calculated. Okay. Okay, let's go to the sixth question. So here they have given us one table. Okay, there is one table called students underscore. Table 1 provides the scores of the students in 3 subjects. Then they're saying you have to create a data frame called student underscore scores out of table 1. Which of the following will give this option? Okay, for each name, as you see, they have taken a variable as the subject names and values for those subjects. Okay, Ram is having the variable mathematics and his value is 85, like that. So how can you get this particular thing? So in this way, they can give you a picture and ask you which part of the question, which part of these options will give you this a particular output. Okay. At that moment, you have to have an idea of all the commands, whichever you are going to learn in the week 1 videos. Okay. You need to have those commands ideas. Then only you can answer this question. So here, what is the data frame name? Data frame name is student underscore scores. So as you see here, student underscore scores. And here you already know what is the variable. The variable they have considered as the name. Okay. This is the ID. ID is the name. And next. And what are different measures? Okay. In the data frame, whenever you consider, you will be having IDs and measures. Okay. Measures can be considered as some values. Okay. So here, this is the ID. Name is they are considering as an ID, and measures dot variables. Okay, these are nothing but the variable measures where you can give the values to that. So here, what are the different? How they are segregating this particular table is nothing but using these 2 measures, that is mathematics, English. Okay. And even science also. You also need to consider science. So the option will be the first option. Because if you consider the third option, what's happening here? You're trying to make the table 2, which is consisting of only the variables mathematics and English. But if you see the picture of this table 2, you're having the variables mathematics, English, and science, right? So you need to have option in which ID variable is name and measure variables having mathematics, English, and science. So this should be your option. Okay. Melt is the option. So this is your option. Next question is, they are saying you have to create a data frame which is having different vectors like rank, competitor, and marks. Okay. You have 3 columns: rank, competitor, and marks. As these are vectors, you're creating with the command called C of these are the values present in the rank, these are the values present in the competitor, and these are values present in the marks. So they're saying whenever you create the data frame, you have to store it in Athletics. Okay, this is the data frame name. So next the question is, what is the command to add a new row to the data frame Athletics with the following values passed to each vector? Okay, so this is the particular command rbind. So let's just create this data frame first. Okay. So we are going to create a data frame now. Rank equals to C of 1, 2, 3. Okay. Next, what did they give us? Competitor equals the same thing I'm going to create here. Next. This is okay. We have created this. Now what you have to do is, they're saying that the name of the data frame should be Athletics. What did this give us? Athletics. Athletics is a data frame. So how can you create a data frame? Is data.frame or whatever rows you want to have. rank, comma, competitor, comma, mark. Okay. So if I give here, as you can see, the data frame got created here. This is my data frame, which is having 3 columns. These are your columns. Let's just print that athletics. So this is your athletics. Now what they are saying, we have to add a new row to the data frame athletics, and it should contain, the row should contain 4 competitor. I mean, the rank should be having 4. Rank column should have this value, and competitor should have this. So what should be the command is, let's execute this command. So we are executing this command now, and we are assigning this, the whole, as we are going to add the row with the value rank as 4, competitor as Asafa, and mark as 9.72. And it should be added to which data frame? The data frame name is athletics, and this should be reassigned to athletics again. Okay. So here, maybe the issue with the quotes. So I'll just rename it now. Okay. Now, if you try to print this one, so you will be having a new row added. Okay. So how can you add a new row to the data frame is with the command rbind, and here you need to have the data frame name, and as you, this is nothing but a data frame combination, right? The whole set of columns is nothing but data frame. So you are passing this whole values, the column values, to data.frame, and you have to give the athletics data frame name also, and rbind is the command. Okay, this is your option. The first 2 options will not be the correct options. Okay. Then they are saying the command to add a new column to the data frame. So how can you add a new column? But with this command, cbind command. Okay. So let's just paste here. Okay. The last column, what they want to add is nationality. As this is a column, as you can see, how did we create the columns earlier? Rank equals to C of 1, 2, 3. This is nothing but the column name. This is the vector. So this is the column what they want to add it. And here you need to add them as a vector. So how many rows you have? 4 rows, right? So this is your nationality. Okay. So let's something unexpected input. Okay. So this is ending here. Maybe there might be an issue with this one. So this is the ending for this, and this is the ending for this. This is the ending for this. Error, unexpected symbol in athletics. Okay. Okay. The issue with the double quotes, I copy pasted that, right? So if I just print athletics now, I'll be getting a new column nationality with this value. Okay. So cbind is the command which is used to add columns to the data frame, and rbind is the command which is used to add rows to the data frame. So you need to have how many rows you have whenever you want to add the column, those many values you need to have. And that column name should be mentioned within the data frame. And also you need to say the data frame name also here. That's the first one is not correct. The first option is not correct. Right? And here second option, you are just saying athletics, comma, this one. And third option is not correct. Okay, because they have given dot. And that's why second option is right. Okay. Next, the correct way to extract all elements for which mark is less than 9.69 using the subset is, so if we want to print any element, if you want to print any data, I mean any value of a particular column, so what do you do is, what is the name of my data frame? It is athletics $rank. If I say like that, only this particular rank value column rank column values will be printed. Similarly, now what they are saying is that, so which of this option will give us the elements where mark is less than 9.69 using subset command. Okay, so here athletics is the data frame name, and I want to access which column? Mark column. So how can I access the mark column? With the data frame name $mark and less than 9.69. So let's execute this one. Okay, so these two are the values. These two elements have these values. That is how you can do it. So this is a data frame name. So this is a data frame name, and which column you have to access? Mark. That's why you're using dollar symbol less than the condition. Okay. So like this, you will be getting. So here, even though you don't have, you don't need to use the RStudio. You can execute. You can assume, right, which options are correct. So in this way, without the help of RStudio, there might be a chance that the externals will be asking these questions. Okay, do this. So now, which of the following defined functions will return the output as 9.37? So here you can just call this one. So if you see the second option, what you have to do is you just need to calculate these values. Okay, the first option. This is the second option. So for this, you have to pass 4, 5, 6. So now what will happen is, you have to calculate initially the values here. 4, 5, 6. So whenever I'm calling this function 4, 5, 6, a equals to 4, b equals to 5, and c equals to 6. Okay. So result value, they're saying which output will give us 9.37. So just you have to calculate these values. That's it. So we can do normal operation here. 4 into 5 into 0.5 plus a into c. 4 into 6. This is nothing but double square, that is power 0.5. So this value, if you calculate, you will not get it as 9.37. Only one option will be there, that is nothing but this one. So like that, you have to calculate all these values. Once you calculate all these values, you'll be getting the option as this one, B. Okay, this will be your option. This will give you 9.37. Just calculate it. I'll just show you how you can do it. You can even check the solutions in the week 1. So without RStudio, I explained how you can solve all the problems, guys. So that's how you can expect some of the questions to be present. So this will be your option. It should not be C, I think so. Let's see. The option given here. This is A. It should not be C actually. Here it should be B. B is the correct option. Okay. Just solve that normally, or else I'll just show you why we are getting it as this one. So here A equals to 4 and B equals to 5 and C equals to 6. Okay. So result should be equals to 4, into 5 power 0.5 plus A into C, 4 into C is 6 power 0.5, and we are returning the result. So let's use the calculator here. In exam also, if in external exam, if they give this question, what you have to do, you have to do the same way, like how I'm doing. So 4 into 5 will be 20, right? 4 into 5 is 20. 20 power 20 power somewhere, that is 0.5. 4.47. Let's write this result and store it. I'm storing it here, so I need it later. Okay, that's clear. Next is 4 into 6 is 24. 24 power 0.5. Okay. So let's store this plus. We already stored this result right here. So invalid input is coming. Okay, 24 power clear. 24 power 0.5. So we need to add these two. So sorry, if you add these two, you need to get these two. Well, let me just do this one. 4.47 plus 4.89. So this is equals to 9.36 something, because you have more values, definitely it will be equals to 9.37. So in this way, you need to calculate. Okay, the other options will not give you that. So this is the week 1 assignment, guys. So here, if you see that without the help of RStudio also, you can solve these questions. Like iteration, they might ask you some questions regarding the iteration or loops. Okay, for loop or the while loop. Okay. And most probably there are this pattern is getting repeated, the month, abbreviation, and sum. So please check these problems. And also there are asking some questions related to joins. Okay. So which particular package can be used, and they can give you some table like some data frames in this way, like table 1 and table 2. And how can you get this table 2? How can this be achieved by using which commands? So for that, you need to have the idea of the commands. Okay. So prepare the commands well. So if you are sure about the commands, then you can answer all the questions in this week 1. Okay. Thank you.